Hi, I'm Michael G. Bacus. I'm a University Research Associate of PGC Mindanao, and I'm also the coordinator of the Science Education and Training Division. So what I do in PGC Mindanao is I perform laboratory experiments for in-house research projects and for our client services as well. And I also draft training programs for implementation on molecular biology, diagnostics, and genomics. I also facilitate training initiatives as part of our capacity building efforts in PGC Mindanao.
Yeah, you mentioned all of the things that you do. So you love what you do.
I feel a satisfaction whenever I accomplish something, especially when I finish a paper or after I successfully perform an experiment. And of course, that's on the more abstract part, but on the more practical part, I like what I do. It's not really love because it aligns with my career plans. I want to become a scientist. So as a stepping stone, I have to be able to gain as much experience as I can.
So you go to the office every day. So let's take it to the present. So what keeps you motivated to go to the office, to the lab, doing all your work?
So my number one motivation is of course my family. I want my family to be proud of what I have achieved despite our socioeconomic limitations.
Why science? When you were a kid?
Actually, when I was a kid, I wanted to become a lawyer. But then I passed the Philippine Science High School system, and there we were groomed to become the next generation Filipino scientist. So that's where my love for science started. So I took up biology. When we started doing our theses, I was lucky enough to be part of the first ever thesis group by Dr. Murao. And that's where I learned how to become a researcher. That's where I had my training. Using research, we can do a lot of things. And these things can range from providing benefits to our colleagues to affecting impact to our society. I want to live a life that's impactful, to be able to help not just myself, but the people around me. So I think all scientists are thinking that way. They're living a crusade, a martyr.
So that impact, what kind of specific impact do you want to impose to the future generation?
Well, as I see it, science and technology is really essential for progress and development. And the more we do science, or the more we become capable of addressing pressing socioeconomic issues, alleviate people from poverty, address energy problems, climate change, and so on. And those are things that are looming problems. And eventually we will have to face them. So better we start solving them now. If you are a young researcher in the Philippines, there's a lot of opportunity for you to be able to find your place because the research community in the Philippines is quite relatively young. So there's a lot of niche that's unoccupied. What I'd advise to young researchers is to think it through if really research is their calling, because doing research in the Philippines is definitely not easy. There's a lot of system inefficiencies. I think personally that researchers are undervalued, so we don't get a lot of support. The system is very bureaucratic, so it's really difficult to do research. You need to find ways to address these system inefficiencies, and it takes up a lot of our time. Instead of us researchers focusing on doing work in the laboratory, a lot of our time is used to do work that could have been addressed much easier or faster if the system is efficient. But the system is not efficient. So it's quite difficult.
So with those problems in terms of the system, the bureaucracy, so what did you do to address, cope up with these challenges?
Yeah. There's a lot of pressure actually. The way we researchers can address this is still very limited. So we can try our best to overcome those systematic challenges in the institutions wherein we operate. That's a challenge that I would like to pose to future administrators. If they really want young researchers to thrive within their system, then they also need to have a will to improve the systems.
So are you proud to be a researcher?
Of course, I'm very proud that I'm part of the PGC Mindanao team, the pioneering PGC Mindanao team.
So what do you see sa mga co-workers na PGC Mindanao? What's your message to them? Like working with them every day, the lab, having a relationship with them?
Working with the team is challenging because there's a lot of personalities that you have to deal with. Maybe because of the pressure, we get emotional. Working with the team is challenging, but it's fun because I get to develop friendship, not just people from the lab, but people from the admin side as well. Having friends, especially friends from your workplace, is really helpful because they will serve as your support system. During times when I am having a bad day, I usually vent out to them. That's if they are available as well.
Thank you so much.
I am Michael G. Bacus. I am proud to be a researcher.